Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm Janet Rogalski. I'm pleased to share the bima with Andy Pelletier and to have the ever wonderful Bob Ray joining us. You'll find the opening song on page 128, Hine Matov.
Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, hine matov, la 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 la. Hine matov, la 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 la. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
I'd like to invite Jane and David Pettigene forward to light the Shabbat lights, which you will find on page 120 and 121. One of the readings first. Do one of the readings first.
As the Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generation of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with his mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
You'll find Lachad Odi on page 138.
Lechad Odi likrat kala, pidei Shabbat nekabela. Lechad Odi likrat kala, pidei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat nechuvanecha, ki mekol habrecha, merosh mekedem nesucha, sof mazeh b'machshava tihila. Lechad Odi likrat kala, pidei Shabbat nekabela. Hitodiri, kivarech kumi ori. Shir daveri, kevod Adonai, alayig nigila. Lechad Odi likrat kala, pidei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom, ateret bahala, gam b'simcha u'chotzola, toch emuneh am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Lechad Odi likrat kala, pidei Shabbat nekabela.
The Chatzi Kaddish is on page 262.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemen haba, bi'alma divorach edute v'hamlich machute, b'chayechon uv yomechon ובחיית כל בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמן אבא מבורך, לעולם הולן מהמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתברך ויתברמם ויתנשא, ויתעלה, 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 שמד קודשה בריחו. לעילמין כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבקתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן.
Please rise for the Baruch Hu on page 264.
Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Le'olam vaed.
Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu uvkumenu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach midivre Toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. The Via Haftah is on page 268.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We read together, "You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy for your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohim Emet." On the next page, we read responsively, "We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. When will redemption come? Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. On the next page, Bechamocha.
Ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha netar ba'kodesh, nodati lot osefene, nodati lot osefene, malchutecha מוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי, אנו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם kifad Adonai et Yaakov, ugewelo me'ad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapurei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן, בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
Please rise for the tefillah.
Adonai, Safatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Lea, Ahel HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Gehula Livnei V'Nem, Leman Shemo Be'Avha, Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Hezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol et harav le'Hoshia. Mechachel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayim emunato, Lisheneh afar, Michamocha bar gevurot, Umido melach, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום ינהללוך הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We read together on the top of page 278. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. Rest on it. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. On page 281. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise. For the desire in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise the source of all being. For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. Our God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha ne'eh lechodot.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Hamcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov menecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We read together. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. I'm sorry? Praise be you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom. At this time in our service, we think of all of those who are in need of healing in our congregation, in our community, our country, and our world, whether it's healing in body or healing in soul. If you have the name of someone dear to you whose name you'd like to say, please do so now.
Dave Saltzman,
Jerry Brandman.
Mackenzie Bigman.
To those names, we would add those our congregation is wishing healing and continued healing. Eloise Rapino, Barb Manley, Paul Kausman, Lynn Jacobs, Larry Robbins, Cynthia Bramson, and Joel Leviton. We'll be saying our prayer for healing in the Mishaberach, which you can find on page 378. I'm sorry, 371.
Of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, bless those in need of healing with nefuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
We take a moment for some silent reflection. Shalom bimromav, uyase shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Whenever you travel, you learn a lot. And I am thrilled to be able to introduce Faggy Benstein, who has traveled recently as a representative of our community and herself to tell us what she's learned. Faggy?
Shabbat Shalom, Temple family. It is always a huge, high honor to share this Makom HaKodesh, this holy place, with Cantor Jen, with Andy, and with Janet. Is it a coincidence that the word Makom, place, appears in this week's Torah portion, Vayetze? Fleeing his father's house on the way to his uncle Laban's, Jacob comes to a place where he has his dream with the angels ascending and descending. Jacob was on a journey, as I was in September and October. My mother of blessed memory would remind us, is this a coincidence, the word makom? No. It's, again, God appearing anonymously. First, the primary reason for my trip to Israel, long overdue trip to Israel, was reconnecting with my wonderful Benstein family. A long, painful 3 years, beginning with the tragic death of our 26-year-old grandson, Zach Morse, Eli's unexpected death, and all of us COVID and isolation. No doubt I was a wounded soul. However, precious time spent, especially with our grandchildren, their parents do, breathe new, comforting, healing, inspirational life into this soul. I returned whole again. Just so happened that our partnership, our Federation partnership, summit was taking place in Budapest. Our partnership includes Toledo, 17 communities in the United States, the Western Galilee in Israel, and Budapest. It was for them, for us, the first time in 3 years. It was my great pleasure to share this awesome experience with two of our most outstanding Federation professionals, Daniel Perlman, age 28, Hallie in her 30s, and Bubby Faggy at 81. Talk about intergenerational. Experience Budapest through our intergenerational eyes and experiences provided us with yet another layer of bonding that will endure forever. Budapest had a profound effect on me. First, a little context. In 1944, less than a year before the end of the Second World War, 75% of the Jewish community was deported and to Auschwitz and gassed. They really thought that they had escaped. They didn't. The war was just about over. Hitler knew that surrender was not far away, yet the Nazis managed to wipe out 75% of a whole community. When I say that, no matter how many times I say it, I get cold. The trauma is still very much present today. Then, liberation. By whom? The great liberator, Stalin, who immediately opposed 40 years of the most vicious tyranny. Practicing any religion was absolutely against the law, punishable by prison and sometimes death. Brutal. Those two traumatic experiences linger to this very day. Hitler's intention was to annihilate our very being. 6 million of us were murdered. Stalin's intention was to eradicate us by annihilating our Jewish memory. For 40 years, not one Jewish experience, not one tradition, no customs, no Shabbat dinners, no Passover Seders, no Hanukkah celebrations, nothing. And we know that if, God forbid, Jewish memory collectively or individually is annihilated, absolutely no Jewish identity remains. Jewish memory is the lifeline to the Jewish soul. Without it, Jewish identity immediately ceases to exist. Annihilation of a different kind, but with the same outcome, double brutal traumas back to back. Meet Urit, my wonderful Budapest friend who is second-generation Holocaust survivor. There is a group that we started 3 years ago. We started in our communities here, and then we expanded to Israel and hung in Budapest. We're second generation. We've been meeting now for 2 years, and this is the first time I met her in person. We walked through the ghetto, hand in hand. You could hear those voices. Sobbing with unspeakable pain, I could not find the words to console her. No words, I just held her close. So can you imagine in your early 30s being told by a dying grandparent, you are a Jew? For secrecy, to be sure, and or wanting to protect members of families of that unspeakable experience. That is how the present generation found out that they were Jews. What does it mean to be told that you are a Jew? No context, no memory, absolutely nothing. Nothing. They have come a long way. A strong Orthodox Jewish community in Vad, Board, Chabad, a very strong involvement with the Jewish Agency of Israel. They have managed to establish a very strong Jewish community. I never understood why the Reform and Conservative streams have not been present in these communities. It saddens me. They have established a wonderful JCC and a Hebrew Day School, 60% of which is Jewish. Their Jewish identity is expressed culturally, celebration of holidays, events, and again, a very strong Israel identity. Synagogue attendance is almost non-existent. Meet Andre, my new wonderful friend, Andre. Our group leader shared that his grandmother told him he was a Jew on her deathbed. From nothing, he has established a strong, proud Jewish identity. But he's very quick to point out that the current very right-wing anti-Semitic is anti-Semitic. The fears of yesteryear makes for an atmosphere of extreme caution and nervousness. When we asked all of our communities for a list of second generation, Budapest wouldn't give us a list. They were terrified where those names were going to end up. Andre Andre visited one of our partnership communities 3 years ago in Indianapolis. He was stunned, he shared. Faggy, to be honest, I could not control the feelings of envy. We, the Hungarian Jewish community, should have had this after the Shoah. Instead, we got 40 years of horrific tyranny. I am so envious of what the American Jewish community has and sometimes seems to take for granted. At the same time, meet Dr. Asaf Shemesh. When Andre was in Indianapolis, Dr. Asaf Shemesh was in Toledo staying with Eli and I. Born and raised in Israel, he attended medical school in Budapest, and he never returned. He has devoted his entire career to the needs of the Jewish community in Budapest. While in Toledo, actually the reason for him coming was to partner with UTMC on emergency trauma. However, in the evenings, he joined our Jewish community attending meetings and events. I schlepped Asaf to his first and only interfaith dialogue event at St. Timothy's Church in Toledo. A first, and what a first he was. But Faggy, my English, not so good. Father Jeff invited him to sit at his table and introduced him to a gathering of 65 attendees. Asaf was absolutely charming. He had never, ever, ever been with an right, thank you. An interfaith group, let alone speaking to them. Asaf was absolutely charming, eloquent, engaging. What a proud moment, to say the very least. Asaf said he will never forget Toledo. Here's the joy. While in Budapest, it was our honor and a once-in-a-lifetime experience to attend the dedication of the first Jewish hospital in Hungary with Asaf as its CEO and medical director. And that hospital is the first and only hospital now in all of Europe, At the end of this once-in-a-lifetime experience, none of us could contain our tears of great joy, pride, and joy. I look like a chipmunk. Revlon lies. Their mascara is not waterproof. Asaf promises to return to Toledo in 2023. You can be sure all will be invited to meet this extraordinary 51-year-old amazing human being. By the way, Asaf, Andre, and Yudi know that I'm speaking tonight, and they send their thanks and feel very honored. The summit in Budapest gave continued and renewed commitment, energy, inspiration to our partnership, who continues to grow from strength to strength on three continents. We said goodbye to Budapest. Israel. Almost impossible to choose a single experience in Israel outside the incredible week spent with family. Always being in Israel, the only country in the world where we are a majority, has always empowered Eli and myself. Eli and I spent every holiday on the Jewish calendar except Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur in Israel. This past Yom Kippur for me was truly remarkable and profound in many ways. About 15 years ago, two students from China arrived in Toledo to study there for their PhD programs at the University of Toledo. They met and they were married at City Hall. Yaakov and Eliana obviously converted to Judaism. They converted to Judaism at B'nai Israel, hence their second wedding. Because their student visas ran out, no visa, no job, they decided to make Aliyah, second conversion, third wedding. They live in a religious community and attend a Sephardi congregation. It's a brand new community within Israel. Kol Nidre night, I arrive and I take my seat in the women's section, and very quickly I realized I was the only light-skinned person there. I was the only Ashkenazi. This congregation is made up of Jews from Yemen, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Morocco, Syria, and Ethiopia. And suddenly, I'm a minority within that majority. Humbling to my very core. I was so humbled. I was warmly welcomed and embraced. The Sephardi religious women do not wear wigs. Rather, they wear these gorgeous head coverings, turban-like, multicolored, sequins, gorgeous. I wanted one, couldn't get one. I sat with a boring headband. This community does the entire service out loud, everyone singing at the top of their lungs. I was transformed. The service was totally unfamiliar to me. The melodies, the prayer book, the order of the service, totally lost. Me, totally lost in a prayer book. Abigail kept saying, Safta here, Safta there, turn the page. I was completely lost. Yom Kippur morning began at 5:30. I arrived at 8 o'clock and did not break until 12:30, only to resume at 3:30 until the conclusion of Yom Kippur. They concluded it by singing and dancing for 20 minutes, and the women embraced me by forming a circle around me and dancing around me. Amazing. You know what? It didn't matter that I did not understand almost the thing that was happening in that shul on Yom Kippur, because I realized these are my people. It is peoplehood to its quintessential level. How often do you and I see Jews who look otherwise? Rarely. And here I was, this Ashkenazi bubby from Toledo, Ohio, feeling that I was come home, that this was my family, and more importantly, we share the same destiny. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Faggy. That was fabulous. I would like to ask Jody Hess, representing the Board of Trustees, to come up with a few announcements. Jody, they can't hear you on Zoom, however. Oh, on Zoom. Okay. On the live stream. That's why you need to do it.
Gotcha. All right. The Kiddush this evening is in loving memory of husband, father, and grandfather, Jules Isaacson, from Elaine Isaacson and their entire family. Join us on Sunday, December 11th at 3 p.m. for the winter concert. Enjoy a performance featuring art songs, opera and Broadway selections by BGSU voice students, I hope I get this right, Dr. Jane Schoonmaker.
Can I add a few notes to that?
I knew. Why do you think I'm looking at you?
You really, pardon me, you really want to go to this and you really want to tell your friends. The program has changed, and Jane has decided to not go with her students, but it's all of her friends and colleagues in the profession. So there are going to be ex-Broadway singers, world-known opera singers. It's going to be a heck of a program. So you really want to make it for this concert next week.
It's a save the date day because not only that, afterwards, make your reservation for the Temple's Hanukkah Bash on Sunday, same day, from 5 to 7. So just plan to spend from 3 o'clock on and enjoy your day. Also, there is a reception to follow, I'm assuming, between the two, correct?
Oh, yes.
There is a
There's always
reception.
food.
Bring please, and for that, also bring hats and gloves and warm socks to share with those in need. This is our December's social action project, and thanks to our President Janine, there is a beautiful box that is out in the hallway, so that will be all the month of December. Anytime you come, please bring hats and gloves and warm socks. Be sure to check your email on Wednesdays for Temple Talk. If you're like me and it kept going to spam, check your spam if you're not getting it. And if you can't check your spam, call Lynn. She'll fix it for you like she did for me. Find the latest news of upcoming events and programs through the Temple Talk. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Please turn to page 586 and rise for the Aleinu.
שמח לנו הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וכל עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קונים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. When it is time for me to leave this world, don't think of me beneath the earth. Instead, think of me when the earth gives life to spring's first flowers, when summer rain fills the air with the rich, sweet scent of earth and grass, leaf and tree. Remember me when the sky is painted gold and red, at day's beginning and at day's end. Think of me, remember me, and I will live on in you. From a poem by Elizabeth Tragash. At this time in our service, we think longingly and lovingly of those whom death has claimed. Recent deaths include Rena Mann and Cecile Unatin. We add to those names for whose yortzeit we celebrate this week: Kenneth V. Abendana, Cynthia Berland, Gussie Bessner, Esther Black, Goldie Oakenblack, Elaine Bornstein, Linda Kahn, Fanny Fleischer, Helen Goldman, Julia Gordon, Steve Gordon, Alex Greenblatt, Samuel H. Harris, Vera Heilbrunn, Dr. Jules Isaacson, Hattie Klein, William L. Kessler Jr., Lillian Mayer, Florence Z. Michael, George Kyden, David Morgan, Minnie Morgenstern, Phil M. Paris, Harriet Parker, William Reinstein, Max Romanoff, Hilda Y. Roth, Elizabeth S. Rudolph, Ria Schall, Jerry Silverblatt, and Rabbi Melvin Weinman. Please rise for Kaddish, which you will find on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, Belma divrei divrei makutei, Chayechon uvmechon uvchaye dekol beit Yisrael, Ba'agalav uzman karim v'yimeru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach leolam ulamei olmaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yishbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit halev, v'yit halal, shemei dekudashah v'rechu. Elam min kol berchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, da'amiram v'yalma v'imru, amen. V'hei shalom rabba min shemayim v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. Usei shalom
b'yamaromav, uyaseh shalom.
Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who are mourning and comfort all of those who are bereaved. And together we say, Amen. Let the rain come and wash away the ancient grudges, the bitter hatreds held and nurtured over generations. Let the rain wash away the memory of the hurt, the neglect. Then let the sun come out and fill the sky with rainbows. Let the warmth of the sun heal us wherever we are broken. Let it burn away the fog so that we can clearly see each other, so that we can see beyond labels, beyond accents, gender, or skin color. Let the warmth and brightness of the sun melt our selfishness. And let the light of the sun be so strong that we will see all people as our neighbors. Let the earth, nourished by rain, bring forth flowers to surround us by beauty. And let the mountains teach our hearts to reach upward to heaven. Amen.
Amen.
Our closing song is on page 649, Tefillah Haderach.
May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. Of peace, may we be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. Be
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Please
Shalom.
join us for Kiddush in the hallway.